I'm trying this out because my audio is still a little bit quiet and I've seen other book people do this. So I'm trying this out. So today I want to talk to you about why I don't DNF. Because I don't DNF and I say this a lot that I don't DNF. I say a lot about books I don't like that if I DNF books I would have DNF'd this one. And a lot of people do DNF and I don't malign anybody who does DNF because I understand people who DNF. The world is short. Life is short. Your world is short. Your personal world is short. There are a lot of books in the world. I have a lot of books in this room. I guarantee you the book wall would not be this big if I DNF'd because there are a lot of books where I start and I'm gonna know that I'm not gonna like it, but I keep reading. I don't DNF it. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I could really just sum this up in one word, and that word is Glamorama. Now, Glamorama is an example, because there are quite a few books that I've read that I've really, really enjoyed. That if I DNF'd, I absolutely would have DNF'd from the first 50 pages, and Glamorama by Bret Easton Ellis is one of them. If I DNF'd, I would have DNF'd Glamorama within the first three chapters. I've been like, this is fucking nonsense. I would have DNF'd it. I never would have read anything by Bryce Nellis again. I might have picked up American Psycho, but I absolutely would not have been super excited for The Shards when it came out. I absolutely wouldn't have picked it for my Book of the Month book. Glamorama and The Shards were two of my favorite books the years that I read them. Glamorama, I consider my favorite book of all time. And if I DNF'd, I wouldn't have Glamorama. Glamorama is not the only book that this has happened with. The Choir Boys by Joseph Wambaugh. Loved it. If I DNF'd, I would have DNF'd it. If I DNF'd, I feel like I would be more willing to get rid of books that I'm not sure I'm going to like. And The Choir Boys is definitely one of those. The Choir Boys is a novel from the 70s about a bunch of terrible policemen. And it's so charming. I loved The Choir Boys, and I loved how like dark and deep it got into their psyches. I loved how it was a goofy fucking book, but also when you kept reading, it was deeply traumatizing for a lot of these men. So that's another little example. I don't DNF because I think that every book deserves a full shot. And some books, you could make the argument that you don't need to give every book a full shot because if a book was good, it would grab you from the start. Now, when I think about Glamorama, now when I reread it, because I've read it more than once now because it's my favorite book of all time, I really appreciate those first 60 pages that haunted me the first time I read it. I really do. I think that they're really indicative about what the rest of the book is going to be like. I keep looking over there because I'm looking at my copy of Glamorama. It's just shining beautifully on the shelf. I think they're really indicative of what the rest of the book is going to be like. I think that they have a lot of foreshadowing for a lot of things. The cafe that Victor goes to, the constant coldness and flies and smell of shit, um, all kind of tie into the greater theme. The fact that the first 60 pages are really just lists of celebrities in the 90s is really indicative of the theme of the entire novel. Um, and they really do a lot to set up Victor's character, or at least Victor's character as we first see him, Victor's character as he likes to be seen. And if I DNF'd, I wouldn't have that. Um, I've never been a DNFer. I can count the number of books I have didn't finish on one hand. Johnny Tremaine, Aragon. I feel like there used to be one more, but I apparently finished it at some point, or it was so bad it just was wiped from my memory. I've finished a lot of bad books. Don't get me wrong. Every book that I think I would DNF if I don't, it's not gonna be like, oh, like this is a this is a wonderful book now and it's great. No, it's not always like that. But it's happened enough times, you know. I think that reading a full book, even if it's a full bad book, can do a lot for you. Like, I don't know, especially if you're somebody who writes, especially if you're somebody who wants to be very well read. Granted, not everything I read super, literary. I'm using the book I'm reading right now for this, Kingdom Hearts manga. Like it's not like everything I read is extremely literary. It's definitely not. But I think there's something you can learn from most things you read. And I think that DNFing books, granted, some people can DNF. I'm a fucking finisher, man. I have to finish every book I start. And I know that Aragon is in that book wall twice, I think. And when I get to it, I'm gonna finish it this time, and then I'll only have Johnny Tremaine on this list of books I've never finished. Johnny Tremaine fucking sucks, man. I hate Johnny Tremaine. But if Johnny Tremaine ever shows up in the book wall, I'm gonna finish it. I don't DNF. I don't DNF because mostly because like there have been so many books that if I DNF'd, I wouldn't have some of my favorite books of all time. When I first read The Stand by Stephen King, that was my first Stephen King book when I was 12 years old. It took me about a year to finish. I read the first 300 pages, I stopped, I gave it a couple months, I started over, and I finished it. If I DNF'd, even back then I was a seventh grader, even back then I wasn't gonna not finish a book. Any other Stephen King books that I had issues with, I wouldn't quit them. Bag of Bones, I read a chapter a night for a month so I could finish it because I wasn't gonna leave it alone. Yeah, I don't, I don't know. I just personally don't believe in DNFing. I just don't like it. Like it feels wrong to me to DNF. It feels like I'm leaving something unfinished that should be finished. And really, books don't take that long to read. And this. I know this is different for some people. I know some people are slower readers than me. I know most people are slower readers than me. But like for me, I'm like, what? Like I'm still probably gonna get something out of it, even if it's terrible. Even if what I get out of it is this book was bad. I'm still gonna get something out of it. So yeah, I don't DNF. Um, and it is primarily because I've gotten so many favorites from books that I didn't like at first. Books like Glamorama, books like The Choir Boys, and every time I get one of those, I am even further solidified my reasonings for not DNFing. And also, I know that if I DNF'd, I would be DNFing like fucking crazy, man. If I let myself open that door, it would never close again. I would DNF literally fucking everything. The book will be gone in a month, which might actually be a better situation, granted, than I'm currently in, but I'm not ever gonna do it. So yeah, that is everything. That's everything I have to say about DNFing. Again, I don't want to malign people who do DNF. I just don't really understand it on a personal level. I don't understand DNFing. I don't know. Like I don't do it, and I've never really done it. I mean, I sure tried my best with both Aragon and Johnny Tremaine, when I was 10 years old, but I don't know. That's everything. I'll talk to you later, and goodbye.